Welcome to Sips and Spirits. Why do you do that?
Do what?
One, I can hear you mouthing. Your mouth noises are so loud. And then I just have to look over. You are in my peripheral, even if I'm not looking at you. Anyways, Sips and Spirits is a podcast for lovers of both alcoholic and spectral spirits, which makes me co-host to this guy, Eric.
What?
I threw you off.
You messed me up, though. Like, wait, what? So then that's Chelsea right here. This lovely woman, the specimen of life. It's Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Disclaimer, we are not historians of any kinds. Any facts or stories presented are from various sources, and we make no claim the tales are true. We just found it to be spooky and interesting. And I've been super excited for this episode.
Yeah.
So the stuff that I found out, I'm like, this is really cool.
Yes, I'm excited to hear what you have to say, because that's all you've been saying is you're so excited, because I guess he's got some good stories lined up for us. So, we are not mixologists. Cocktails and spirits are tasted for the first time during an episode, unless noted otherwise, and we don't have a cocktail for you today. We also, in an additional disclaimer, we're going to try very hard not to be biased, but we are not regular beer drinkers.
Yeah, we're not regular beer drinkers. We don't. Yeah. It's not one of our things we go for. Very rarely do we drink it, and we choose to drink it
very selectively on what we drink.
Kind of thing,
Like, I only really drink beer on St. Patrick's Day, and it's typically a Guinness. So I prefer stouts, and even then I'm really particular. Mm-hmm. And occasionally a red, but usually not.
My only time I really enjoy beer is a michelada, but
which is like a beer cocktail.
A beer cocktail, but I mean I enjoy beers, but it's not something that I go for normally. Like if I do go for a beer, I like Chelsea, I do go for stouts. I like a beer that gives me it's like a meal in a cup, kind of so it's like hearty, for lack of a better word, like full, like very full bodied, in that aspect of things.
Yeah, so we really tried hard because there are actually quite a few spooky beers out there, but majority of them are IPAs, which we know we are not fans of. So we really tried hard to find something, and the spirit we have for you today is not an IPA. So yay! Yeah. But before we jump into that, we want to give a little shout out. We, for the first time, just recently looked at our podcast analytics.
Yes.
Because we try to focus more on just having fun instead of like, oh, who are reaching? How many subscribers do we have? But we just were curious, and we found out we have had a consistent listener from the beginning in Germany who listens to our episodes. So yes. Whoever you are, we just want to say thank you. And if you do follow us on any social medias, reach out and say hi and be like, hey, that's me. I'm your listener. Because we'd love to shout you out.
For sure. And going back to what she was saying, it is nice to see the numbers. It's nice to see all the, we have this many followers, or we have this many things. But there's something that we decided at the beginning. It's like, we need to make sure that that's not our focus, our drive. We love all you guys who listen. We appreciate all you guys who listen, who come and comment on our stuff, who get to enjoy our stuff that,
And that's what we care about.
And that's okay. We care more than the interaction, I'd rather have, 10 people comment on our stuff and we talk back and forth versus have thousands of listens kind of thing, you know? It's nice to get all those numbers, but we want interaction. We want to get to talk to you guys. We want to hear your feedback, hear your would you rathers kind of thing, hear your guesses on our cryptids kind of thing, hear what you think of our cocktails. We made some for our friends at Sound Society, excuse me, back in Midsummer Scream, and they loved both our cocktails we made. At least I hope they did. They said that they really liked them. So,
and they've been sharing it all over. Yeah. So hopefully, if they're willing to share it, that means they liked it.
So, and that's what we want to know. Like, are we making stuff that you guys are liking? Are we making stuff you guys aren't liking? What do you like more than others? So we can be like, okay, let's go with those routes kind of thing and see what happens. So yes, thank you, our friend from Germany, whoever you are. Hopefully we find out who you are sometime soon.
Yes. So this episode is dedicated to you, I guess, because we are on the eve of Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest. When this comes out,
Yes. So we'll be 2 days away. Oktoberfest
Right, so-
starts on September 17th this year. So this episode comes out September 15th.
There we go.
So we'll be really close.
So when you listen to us, we September 15th.
Yeah.
Just not right now, but yes.
And if you are attending Oktoberfest, like, let us know if you happen to stumble across any spooky beers. We would love to hear that. We love hearing the spirits you guys are excited about and discovering the creepy ones, the unusual ones in the mix.
Kind of thing.
So even if we may not be big beer fans, we still want to hear about what your beer loves are. So
and we're willing to give anything a try, kind of thing. We're not bourbon or whiskey fans, American whiskeys are that much, but Winchester's been one of our new favorite whiskeys.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, So there's that.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
All right. So
what is this?
What are we drinking today? We are calling upon a spirit from Dexter, Michigan. We are using a selection from Jolly Pumpkin Artisan Ales to summon their Bam Noire to the table.
Do we want to tell them about our search for this bad boy?
Yeah, so, well, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we were on a search for a spooky beer that wasn't an IPA. And we happened to come across this in Total Wine, and we were like, this is it. This is the beer. So we picked up a bottle, and then as I was doing my liquor research, I found out they have a bunch of other beers that also are on the spooky end, and the company itself has great origins, as you may have guessed from their moniker of Jolly Pumpkin Artisan Ales.
But wasn't they find out this was like a seasonal beer on?
Yeah, so we were like, oh, this sounds like it's available all the time, only to discover that it is a limited, it's not out all the time. So we are so sorry if you're looking for the Bam Noire. They do, however, if you are in a place that constantly stocks Jolly Pumpkin, they have all the time available Bam. Without the Noir. But yeah, and we were trying really hard.
Songs like no, Bam Noir.
We tried very hard to find more Jolly Pumpkin, but at least in our area, we are in the Bay Area, Central Valley of California. We didn't have any luck. Now, we didn't go on like a witch hunt looking for it everywhere, and it says there are, on their website, they give you a little like map that'll tell you places, but the places that said they're stockists of this, it sounded more like a professional warehouse deal, so we didn't look into it too much, but I'm sure if you are in the Michigan area or around there, not in Michigan State, but states that surround it, you'll probably get more distributions of their beers because they have about 6 beers that are available all year round, and then they take like 3 beers out of the vaults.
I forget.
In different seasons, and then they have seasonal selections as well. So they have quite a few different kinds of beers. And you forgot?
I forget that Michigan and Illinois are right next to each other.
No, not Michigan.
Not Michigan? Missouri.
Missouri.
Never mind. I confused Michigan and Missouri.
Yeah, so we made a mistake in our last episode. We said our friends are from Illinois, which they're not, because they are from Missouri.
Missouri, yes.
Which we also have our wedding photographers. Same situation. Like, they did a lot of work in Illinois, and they live right on the border.
So
and I believe our friends do too, right on the border of Missouri, and they were joking about that in the live of like they're a lake throwaway or something like that.
They live like across the river from it.
So.
But anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, Andrew and Devin.
Back to our episode.
I've claimed many times I'm geographically challenged.
Let's open this bad boy.
All right,
and give it a try.
You're gonna go ahead and open this up. And I didn't plan this out because I need the bottle for a second to start my facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go for it.
Okay.
Before she goes, we've talked about this before in other bottles. Neat little cap.
Oh, so cute.
JP.
All right, so it says JP for Jolly Pumpkins, and then you've got a wheat sheaf, and then I think, what is that? barley.
I think it's barley, yeah.
Yeah, so you have like a little vine. At first I was like, oh, it's like a pumpkin vine. It looks like pumpkin leaf. And then some barley.
I don't know.
Or whatever, hops. It's
Hops.
probably
Oh, yeah, it's right. It's probably hops. I'll put that right there.
So we're all about branding, or I am all about branding. My school degree was aimed at graphic design. So
taste it before we go into facts.
I love this stuff. Yeah, go for it. So
first.
I've heard we should have chilled the glasses. Now that I think about it,
Oh yeah.
we're not beer drinkers, so we're already messing this up. Sorry, but yeah, I think we should have probably chilled them.
I'll start with that.
And we stuck with we're just doing one bottle because we did not know how we were gonna like it. And again, I apologize if we're already sounding really biased. Trying not to.
Okay.
So I need this bottle. Thank you.
Okay.
A little background. Bam is pretty much the brewery dog.
Okay.
Yep. So you have winery dogs, brewery dogs, distillery dogs. People love having their puppers on the property,
Hey,
which makes sense. You know, it is essentially like an agricultural business. I know. There's no distillery cats.
No. But I think there's wine cats.
Yeah, lots of winery cats.
Anyway. Before you get started, let's cheers.
Oh, okay.
He can't too excited for his notes.
Okay. Cheers.
Huh.
Ooh,
What is that I'm
that's
tasting?
sour.
Yeah. Like not in a bad way. I'm like I was very surprised. Like there's like
That is not what I was expecting. I like it.
the lemon in here.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm realizing I didn't actually like look up the tasting notes on this and whatever.
Okay, now you can read this. This is actually pretty good.
All right. So one of Bam's brown eyes is, in fact, black. When mischief reigns supreme, it positively glows. Dedicated to the dark side, smooth, dark, incredibly delicious as only a Jack Russell with bat wings can be. Which is what made us fall in love with this bottle, this description on this bottle. Yes.
Which Bluey episode character is Jack Russell?
Jack.
Jack? Who's Jack?
Jack the Jack Russell. He's friends with Russell.
Okay. He's one of the kids.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I
His dad and sister. He's the one trying to look for Australia.
Got it. I was like, okay, yes.
Sorry, guys. We are big, huge Bluey fans. We can't wait for February.
But yeah, and every time a new dog comes out, she mentions like, okay, and I was like, okay, Jack Russell's got it. But anyway, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. We should go on 2 bottles now.
Right? So cheers, Bam Noire, Jolly Pumpkin. We really like this, and I wish we could have found more beers.
Now we gotta look for more Jolly Pumpkins and be like, okay.
It's surprisingly smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
I don't know if that's usually a term you use with beer drinking. Again, not our field of expertise, guys.
It's really good.
What was our train of thought? My train of thought. Oh, so flavor-wise. Let's go into the tastings, and we'll go into the notes about the
I don't taste any of the normal beer flavors that I normally would taste in a beer.
I do have I am getting like the stout flavors.
Okay. I get a little
like the darkness that you have.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of like the malty chocolate flavor.
Okay.
But it doesn't have that like hangs out on your breath that you get when you drink a stout. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. It doesn't give you like that.
I'm not like saying like you feel like you're breathing a cloud of
no,
beer,
for
but
sure.
there's something about a stout that's kind of really robust and it hangs out. It doesn't have that. Just like you get it on your tongue and then you swallow and it goes down with it. It's really nice, but I love the sourness.
Yeah, it's like
because you guys know we love tarty sour drinks. So.
Yeah, it's like almost like a lemon beer. If I like it's not lemon, it's like but it's like really sour with the thing. It's like and like you said, I get very small hints of the stout. That you said dark chocolate. Like yeah, I can see it very smart, like in the tip of my tongue.
Mm-hmm. But more like that, like a malt, like diner. You know, or chocolate. Even like the malt candies. You remember those? The Whoppers, right?
Yeah, Whoppers kind of thing. So it's like it's very enjoyable. Like I'll drink this more often. Mm-hmm. I'll give you more of this kind of thing. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's delightful. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to you, Jolly Pumpkin.
Cheers to you again. Cheers, Jolly Pumpkin.
I hope we can find more. I will actually be on a lookout for this.
Now I want to try all their other BAMs. And see what we can do for that. Anyway, what can you tell us about Jolly Pumpkin?
They have like 3 different BAMs.
What can you tell us?
Oh, right. So, Jolly Pumpkin founder, brewmaster, and chief squeegee operator. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Heads up. If you're not going to get it from this next description, the owner of this brewery has the greatest sense of humor.
I love it.
All right. Ron Jeffries has been brewing professionally since 1995 and opened his own brewery, Jolly Pumpkin Artisan Ales, in 2004. I almost said 20,004.
20,000 in the future.
He's a philosopher of all things beer-y and an outspoken advocate of the slower, finer life, practicing the art of Hawaiian time full-time.
Again.
Yeah. According to Ron, people either love or hate the Jolly Pumpkin's Artisan Ales moniker. When asked where it came from, he answers with, "I have a very strange brain."
I'll get him.
The name Jolly Pumpkin was one on a long list that he kept coming back to that brought a smile to his face. Artisan Ales was tacked onto the end to wrap up the full idea of a company that is fun and quirky while also describing the products and mission. Ron claims the name combines the following fun and exciting images. Everyone's favorite holiday, Halloween. Who doesn't enjoy the grinning jack-o'-lantern?
Is that the 3rd most popular holiday?
No, he's saying it's everyone's favorite holiday.
Okay.
All right, because who doesn't enjoy the grinning jack-o'-lantern? Everyone's favorite Halloween costume, the pirate.
Her.
Some of his favorite locations, the tropics. His 2 nicknames, Brewmaster Spooky and Captain Ron.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yes, I love it. And like having that little extra tidbit like makes me love it even more. Makes me really want to love it. And maybe I'm glad it's actually
If we ever
really
go to
good.
Michigan, maybe we can go there directly and be like, hey, this is the brewery.
Well, let me finish.
Oh,
I have
kidding.
more notes.
Oh, snap. I think we're done.
For our special eating habits friends, all Jolly Pumpkin beers are vegetarian friendly and most are vegan friendly. So, cool on that.
Are beers not normally vegan?
I don't know.
If you guys know, let me know because I'm not sure.
Usually there's like steps in distilling processes that make it not vegan because it requires either like animal fat or like wine is usually not vegan because the barrels are coated with whatever the coating is has some sort of animal processing in it. So wines are very rarely considered vegan.
Okay.
Yeah. So for anyone who is like that, because I know there are actually a lot of people, and they said unfortunately all beers are not gluten-free because that's the nature of beer. They are made with
barley,
wheat, hops, all the gluten stuff. So, but yeah, if you are practicing vegetarian or vegan, check out Jolly Pumpkin.
Give me a new pen.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, I can't write with this.
I just grabbed whatever I could find. In addition to the original brewery in Dexter, there are now 8 different Jolly Pumpkin eatery and brewery locations throughout Michigan with unique food offerings. And their beers can be found... sorry, I guess I stopped in my mid... with unique food offerings, which also include all their beers that are available. Blah. So eateries include cafes, pizzeria, a kitchen, and a restaurant. So the kitchen's like kind of like a deli, but a little like nicer, almost like pub food. So like a pub, but not a restaurant, and the restaurant's more like fine dining. So they had, if I remember, like 3 pizzerias and 2 cafes. The math's off. But there's 8 different places that you can go and enjoy Jolly Pumpkin with lovely menu food pairings. And I was looking at the menus for some of those places, and they sound really yummy.
Now, after looking at the menus and tasting this, like, do you know like what you want to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tasting this, and I'm like, like you said, pizzeria, like, ooh, a pizza sounds good. Like I'm thinking about the little snacks we had earlier that we used for one of our reels. I was like, oh, those would be really good with this. I was also thinking, not necessarily that food, but the food from the cauldron, the filet mignon, with this would be pretty good, kind of thing. Like a good red meat with this would be good, kind of thing. Another thing you mentioned that I found it interesting. When you find that name for your brand, for who you are, I think we had that with us too. Oh yeah,
we did.
When we discovered Sips and Spirits, and I've been thinking about our name, Sips and Spirits, a lot. When you find that name, it just sticks to you, and you just constantly go back to it constantly over and over again. It was like that with our daughter's name. You know, we found that name, and we just kept going like, well, how's it compared to this one? Well, we like this first one better. Well, how does it compare to this one? And we like first one better. And same thing with Sips and Spirits. We liked how it sounded, we liked how it came out, and it's like everything else
that was like our first name idea before, and when we were first talking about this whole podcast idea, we were just like nicknaming it Sips and Spirits, and it stuck. Because we came up with, a long
like at
list.
least like 15 different names, and we're like, no, we don't like that one. I like Sips and Spirits, so and then we stuck with it, kind of thing. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I like it. You know what? And that's like interesting, like, you know, like how like the name people create for themselves, for their brand. It's like, what is it? Where does it come from? And like,
well, and half the time that's like the story I really want to find when I'm going on to a distillery's website or a brewery's. It's like, I want your, like, why did you pick that? Because we're being drawn to these spirits based off their bottle, which this has a little Jack Russell with bat wings, and then it's called Bam Noire, and it's like noir is dark, or black in some languages. So I just like had to know. And then I'm reading the description, and it's talking about a Jack Russell with bat wings. So I was like, okay, I'm sold.
There we go.
So when I go and look up distillery, I want to know the history and the story. Not the history. I want to know the story behind the distillery's name choice.
You know, and like, you know, how, what made you think of the name? What made you think of like idea kind of thing, you know? So it's like,
I feel like that's such a great marketing ploy to share that story, and there's so many that don't, and it's a missed opportunity.
And then did we share ours?
No, we haven't.
Well, we gotta do that sometime.
Yeah, we do, huh?
We're next party.
Yeah.
Anywho, this is amazing. Very cool stuff. I want to go check it out. I want to go check out their eateries because I love food, and
anyone have an excuse for us to visit Michigan?
I didn't see that. That was sour level.
But I don't know where it is.
Time I drink it. Share with us on social media. Oh, so when you drink it, how sour it is? Oh.
So they're known for making sour beers.
Okay.
Which doesn't, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing right there. Sour pitry. Sorry. Look at the bottle. I didn't give it much detail earlier.
Stop putting it there.
I'm sorry. Shush. Anywho. Okay. So, my turn?
Your turn.
My turn.
Yeah,
okay.
That's all I have for Bam. I mean, there was actually a lot to share, but I was like, we'll end up talking forever because they have, like I said, tons of different beers. I want to say there's at least 6 different beers that they offer all year round. They have seasonal beers that come out autumn, winter, spring, and summer. But they also have like what they call vault beers that cycle out. Bam Noire happens to be one of them.
We just got lucky.
Yeah, so we found at Total Wine. If you guys have other suggestions where to find it, and we've been looking since we found it to
look
really
at
try and
Bethmo and
find.
like other places that we normally go to. It's like, okay, and different Total Wines that we've gone to before, but we haven't had a chance to find it again. So we'll keep an eye on it next time. Okay, would you rather?
Woo!
Okay, I'm gonna preface this that I'm gonna give you is the same would you rather with 2 different scenarios. Okay, and you get to a situation.
Okay.
Okay. If they were real, like those worlds were real, would you rather be part of the world of Los Spookies, or would you rather be part of the world of Los Diableros? If you guys don't know, those are 2 of our great shows we discovered a few years ago. Los Spookies is a show of a group of friends who technically just do hunts for people.
They create spooky events
But
because they did like they start off with a birthday party, then they're like they create a haunted house as like a winning a inheritance experience, and then they were trying to help someone make it seem like they were abducted.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to do a work trip. Like, it's really funny, but then every scenario actually ends up having
like
an
a little bit,
actual
like,
supernatural tie to it.
Kind of thing. And then Los Diableros, for a lack of going too deep into it, it's pretty much like supernatural, but like Latin America.
That's the best way to summarize
you have these brothers and sisters who pretty much go around and eradicate demons all throughout Latin America, or not all throughout, like certain parts of Latin America.
Supernatural creatures, not
and
just demons, but
and they're called Diableros, kind of thing. So if those worlds were real, I mean, one is more real than the other. Which one would you rather be part of?
Like, would I get to be part of like the team?
Yeah, you're part. You hang out with the main cast.
And do I get to be a Diabolera?
If you want to, sure.
Because that's a tough one. But I think I might go with the more fun, the Los Spookies. Yeah, because just what the female characters have to go through in Diableros, pass.
Well, it depends which one you talk to, but yes.
Well, I'm thinking about the sister.
Yeah. Part 2 of this question. So you go with Los Spookies. Part 2 is, if you could act in any of them, it's assuming that you could speak Spanish with them. If you could act
technically, I wouldn't need to in some of them.
No, you couldn't.
In Los Spookies.
No, because they just came to But if you could act in any of them, which would you rather be act?
Yeah, still Los Spookies. Okay. Like the cast they have just seems so fun. But I mean, like the characters are so fun in Diableros. So it's you love the characters. But I don't really know much about the actors. Whereas I don't know, just in Los Spookies, because it's already kind of ridiculous. I feel like when you're on a set of that kind of a show, the people themselves are already just kind of like spontaneous and silly anyways. So it just adds to the atmosphere, which I feel, and I'm probably just projecting, it might not even be accurate, right. But I feel like you see behind the scenes of more like comedic features, and it does seem like the staff, I'm thinking like the female Ghostbusters movie, right? They were all having such a fun time making that when you watch the featurettes and stuff. And I feel like you pick up on that when watching the film. So.
Okay.
And when there's a little bit more of an intentional comedic aspect, you get a lot more ad-lib that end up actually being used versus what was scripted, which I always find immensely entertaining.
I get it. No, for sure. You guys know me. You
know that
I like the confrontation, the challenge. I want to.
Sorry, it looks like a spider was trying to make a home on our spider.
That would be so cool. I like the idea of getting to fight supernatural beings, so I'll definitely go with Diableros.
Yeah.
Both aspects of it, and just because how more Latin America the Diableros is versus Los Spookies. Los Spookies,
I feel like you connect a lot with Diableros. Just the whole the living situation,
the living
right?
situation,
And the culture, the family, and
the culture that they portray, like the lifestyle they portray. It reminds me back of when I lived in Mexico, kind of thing. Versus, even though Los Spookies is more like how it was when I lived in Mexico because they're more closer to the border. The Diablero feels more like back home and the idea of what I had of Mexico growing up, kind of thing, and whatnot. And I feel bad because I remember his name when I first started my notes and I write it down. But I feel like the main character and I will like totally bond. Either we'll fight all the time or we'll totally bond together and be like best bros, kind of thing.
Isn't it Elvis?
Elvis? Yeah, I think so. You're right.
Or Dante?
No, not Dante. Elvis. I think you're right. Like Elvis Crespo, but not Elvis Crespo. Yeah.
I think, I hear this is certainly good. Elvis.
Yeah. But if you guys haven't had a chance to, check either one out.
Check both of them out. They're both really
Spookies,
fun.
It's on HBO.
Yeah, HBO Max.
They get a new season. Diablero is on Netflix. Unfortunately, after 2 seasons, they were done.
Oh, they've been canceled?
I think so. Unfortunately.
You don't know. Maybe.
You know. Kind of thing. And it got pretty interesting. Yeah, about the end of it. I mean, it was interesting the whole time.
It took a while to come out with the next season.
Yeah.
I thought it has 3 seasons, not 2.
Might be 3. Might be 3. You might be correct. 3.
Yeah.
Again, I have this information much sooner, but it's been a while since I wrote this stuff down.
It's cool. So, if you didn't guess, you can totally get our personality types with that. Chelsea's looking for a little levity. Eric just wants to fight the big bad.
Yep.
He's trying to prove his strength, or to himself, not to anybody. He just wants to see how well he's gonna win against the big bad.
I just want to know where I stand on my own pyramid kind of thing. To quote one of my favorite characters in a show we're currently just watching, I want to go Justice League and people with my spider sense go crazy. But anyway, you ready for some stories, some information?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not? Oh, you two are.
Sorry, you caught me mid-sip. Mm-hmm,
so,
yes.
From what I researched, Oktoberfest started, if I pronounce this wrong, let me know, in Munich, Germany.
Mm-hmm. Munich, I think.
Munich or Munich, okay? When I looked up information about Munich, or scary stories on Munich, they mentioned the Black Forest. Okay? Geographically, they're not that close. But when you look at a map of Germany, Munich is one of those cities that you see in the map, kind of like San Francisco.
Right.
And the Black Forest is on the border of Germany and I believe Spain.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So it's they're not that close, but they're it's a good 3-hour drive still. Kind of thing. So it's from here.
Well, it's like the Wolf Lodge in our city. And they're saying it's right next to San Francisco, but San Francisco's literally at least a 45-minute drive.
45 minutes, 2 hours drive kind of thing. So I saw that, I was I feel like I got to clarify. This is not exactly where Oktoberfest happened, but this information comes from Germany.
It's farther. It's more like an hour and a half to 2 hour drive.
Kind of so I wanted to clarify that, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Uh-huh. So the Black Forest, named for its almost impenetrable darkness, the Schwarzwald Black Forest is the site of some of the scariest fairy tales the Brothers Grimm ever wrote.
Okay.
Hardly any sunlight breaks through these dense fir trees of the Black Forest, and the myths surrounding these woods are more fantastical than paranormal. A headless horseman riding on the great white steed, the king who kidnaps women and takes them on his underwater lair where he lives among the nymphs, friendly dwarves, and lurking werewolves. The Black Forest is a region known for its large number of castles, monsters and ruins, world-famous spots, and the iconic cuckoo clock. But the wilderness of the region has much more sinister legends associated with the Black Forest region, making it one of the most haunted places in Munich according to the local legends. Again, they're not that close, but it's okay. Devils, witches, and werewolves haunt the Black Forest. One of the most popular legends of the region speaks about a tall, disfigured man having hands and bulging eyes is referred to as Der Grossman. I think I pronounced that right. Legend states that Der Grossman makes naughty children confess their misdeeds to him, and bad children are never seen again. Another folklore associated with the region is about Die Ganzenmann, or the Goose Girl. According to this folklore, a princess was traveling with her maid to the region to a faraway kingdom to meet a prince. The maid forced the princess to switch places with her and killed Falada upon reaching their destination. I think that was her name. The real princess hangs the skull of Falada to the city's main gates to get the attention of the king. The king punishes the maid by rolling her in a spike barrel all around the city until she dies. Locals and visitors have reported hearing voices of a girl screaming in pain, and some have cited the headless horse walking through the forest during night.
Wait, I thought there was a headless horseman, but there's also a headless horse?
Apparently so.
You're just all over the fairy tale map here.
I know, right? Hey, Brothers Grimm, they were just hanging out there and we're like, come on, world, give me what you got.
Those stories really are grim.
Yes. So, we're going to go dive into Der Grossman. Okay, because I started reading about them and I was like, okay, this guy's pretty interesting. Der Grossman was a legend created back in the medieval Germany in the 16th to 18th century. He was known as the tall man, the big man, the giant man, and many more.
Hold on. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you know what De Grossman. Do you have a translation for
I
it?
think I have it somewhere in here.
Okay. No, I was just curious, like, if you happen to come across what it means. Is it the tall man?
I think I have it in one of my things. Yes. De Grossman is the tall man.
Okay.
Okay.
Just if that's easier to say.
Legend states that De Grossman is a fairy who lives in the Black Forest. Parents who warn their children not to go into the woods late at night or stay up too late. If they disobey their parents, the De Grossman takes them. How, you ask? There's many different things. Children that do go to the forest late at night get chased by the Grossman. He will proceed to chase the children, and once caught up, he will take them to a fate unknown. The chase will stop when the children return home and confess to their parents that they were disobeyed their parents' warnings and had gone to the forest. However, other stories were told differently. Some stories tell that the Grossman lures children into this forest by haunting children, whispering voices into their heads to come follow him. Those that do good, again, get taken away to the fate unknown. No, those that do, get taken away from fate unknown. A few other stories say the Grossman will tap on the window of children and stay up too late, and he will take them too. As the legend repeats, the fate is unknown.
Well, I'm glad I don't live in Germany.
All right.
I'm up late all the time.
He is said to be very incredibly tall, thin, and has multiple upper limbs. The way he can hide behind the trees of the Black Forest. That way he can hide behind the trees. I'm reading this horribly. Sorry. This beer is getting to me. I'm enjoying it too much. That way he can hide behind the trees of the Black Forest. He uses his upper limbs to capture and take his victims away. His facial features, on the other hand, is described in many ways. Some say he has pearl-orbed eyes and no face. Others describe him to be faceless, but left with gruesome, large smile. Okay, this next part is a group of college students went out to Germany, and this is kind of like their recollection about it.
Okay.
During the stay, we came across the strange marking stones in the forest. Tatermannstein. Old German words were engraved reading. Wohnalter hum zum Totenmann, words each von der Stadt Ettlingement. I did a horrible job of that, I think. Since ancient times, I tried. That's what I'm trying to do. Since ancient times, the town of Ettlingen has named me the dead man. There you go. Totenmark can also mean altar man, old man, or Grossman, tall man, in Old German language. Since the stone was unique, we got curious and asked around the village. Some of the locals told us the legend of the Grossman, a frightful, tall, pale man who would appear to people walking through the forest alone, especially children, never saying a word. It's a story that people used to tell their children to keep them from entering the forest alone. It didn't take long until we made the connection to Slenderman myth, which used similar elements. We had never realized just how alike the stories were until we compared sketches and descriptions, and we strongly reminded of the stories we had been told in Eitlingen. But there's much more to it. The more we looked into it, the more similarities to other stories came up. Our research suggested that many regions in Germany or even Austria have their respective legends that basically tell the same story, linking the figure of the Grossman to many other common stories such as the dance of the dead and generally the taking of children. Everybody knows at least one of them from their childhood, though we never made the connection. For example, the Austrian country of Vorarlberg has its own version of the myth, telling about the Nachtwolk, the people of the night, pale, thin, mute creatures with long fingers who roam the forest, dancing the dance of the dead, and should be avoided at all times, especially in the depths of the woods. Almost every village has their own sub-story about them, citing in incidents in the past. They as well have been subjected of many games and stories. With all the games and blogs on the Slenderman myth have been to such popularity, we admit it seemed hard to still take this seriously, but there is more to it than the online phenomenon that has started to fall from the grace. What we are interested in is the stories that came before and a trail that goes way back into the past, and gruesome stories all over the country. It all points to the origin in Germany if you believe the stories, that there is truth to be found there. Now one last thing.
One last thing.
One last thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is a little like story about this story. My child, my Lars, he is gone, taken from his bed. The only thing that we found was scraps of black clothing. It feels like cotton, but it's softer, thicker. Lars came into my bedroom yesterday, screaming at the top of his lungs that the angel is outside. I asked him what he was talking about, but he told me some nonsense fairy story about the groomsman. He said he went into the groves by our village and found one of my cows dead, hanging from a tree. I thought nothing at first, but now he is gone. We must find Lars, and my family must leave before we are killed. I'm sorry, my son. I should have listened. May God forgive me. That's it.
You should have started with that one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so lots of notes here.
Lots of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know why I'm most excited for this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and this is why you're like, we're going to take forever on this because we're going to talk about a lot. All right, so first off, like the whole Brothers Grimm Black Forest having the Headless Horseman. I was like, Interesting that there's this tie of the Headless Horseman in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow being a Hessian mercenary.
Okay.
Who are from Germany.
There we go.
Then the underwater kidnapper, king creature, whatever,
Yeah.
taking a human woman to his underground lair. So pretty much all our universal monsters just came from Germany. Because that's the creature of the Black Lagoon, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because he's considered like the king of the Black Lagoon.
There we go.
He's looking for a bride. I think you threw in werewolves, and I was like, okay, that's it. Nobody can create an original story. It came from somewhere else.
Germany has them all.
But Germany has some very interesting tales.
So the first thing, when the first notes I talk about, I guess, the Black Forest, all these creatures that are in there, all the stories, like I said, the Headless Horseman,
right.
The crying women, La Llorona, kind of thing, and just this notion.
You can't tell me they're not real when there's so many different cultures. We have now talked. We're getting more international in the things we're talking about.
And then it keeps appearing over and over again.
So many, they're not identical, but there's so many
map here of
similarities. That's what I want to do with the cryptids. Put a pin in it where we've done it.
Put a pin here, okay, where does this appear again too, kind of thing right there. But and that's the cool thing about this whole path we're going is we're finding the stories that we grew up with, that we've heard, are told on other places, kind of thing. And again, it can just be hearsay, that kind of thing situation. We don't claim any stories are true. We just want them to be spooky and interesting, kind of thing. But, what if?
Right.
It's constantly happening. Okay? We talked about, I forget which episode we talked about before, cryptids changing, evolving.
Well, we touched base on it last episode, but we also had a whole episode we were talking about the ring, right? And Samara changing.
Kind of thing. So, the Grossman, a tall, lengthy, no face.
Right, no,
creature.
So I'm going to stop you there because that's part of my notes. I wrote that down and then you mention how they're like, ooh, this sounds like the Slender Man. But also, I'm going to totally pop culture nerd out for a second, and I wish you could reach Journal 3 because they have a tall man who's lengthy and black, hides behind trees. You can't see him, with long fingers and limbs, so he looks like he's part of the tree.
I'm like, over the...
You saw a short with him where Dipper's got the mirrors and everything.
Yeah.
So in Gravity Falls, they have a creature.
So
that's just like that. Tall, black, and slender. He has round, white, discus eyes, but no face. I think he has a big mouth too. So
when I read the description of a tall, slender man with multiple limbs, the image that I got in my head because we were watching recently is from Stranger Things, the mind thingamajigger from the second season.
Mind Flayer?
The Mind Flayer from the second season. That comes out all
But he's huge.
But yeah, it's huge. But this guy's huge too.
Well, but not towering over a city.
Not towering over a city, but kind of thing, But that's the image I got in my head when it's talking multiple limbs kind of thing. But yeah, no. Again, all these references, all these situations. Now,
I'd love to talk more about the Forest when
Black
we
Forest.
get do an episode just about that,
Like that,
because I feel
there's a lot you can go into it.
because I feel like we've heard other stories that have nothing to do with what we talked about. That's just like crazy insane.
I want to I didn't go much into the whole Goose Girl one, but I was like, I want to go back into it and be like, what's going on? There's a lot, like the story was.
Yeah, it was a little choppy.
Yeah, it was a little choppy. I was like, okay, but yeah, but no, like again, we have this tall, slender person here who lures children,
Right.
whispers into their heads, kind of like.
This is similar to the Pied Piper,
kind of
which
thing.
also, again, I believe that story does originate. Well, it's Brothers Grimm, so yeah, that story does originate from Germany. Which I watched a very interesting documentary, kind of dissecting. I think they did, like, these historians really deep dived into, like, 6 Brothers Grimm stories. So they talked about Red Riding Hood, and they talked about the Pied Piper and Cinderella. Yeah, Cinderella.
That Brothers Grimm story, or do they have a version?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then, but again, this whole idea of like connection to like different stories. The Japanese story we did.
Hachi Shaku-sama?
Yeah, the tall lady.
Uh-huh.
Okay, again, a tall creature taps on your window to get your attention. The grossman taps on your window to get your attention. Again, these creatures all seem very similar, all do like the same thing, they're saying the same story. I'm not saying that Germans never go to Japan, or they know, or we didn't get the idea of Slurman from this idea, but what if? What if it's real? Kind of thing. The Black Forest is very dark. You don't know if it's a tree or the grossman. Now, a fun little fact.
I think it's supposed to be pronounced Diagross.
Dark Grossman. Tall man. The
But
tall
I
man.
might be wrong.
If you guys can correct us, please do.
Please do.
Please
we will
correct me.
not be offended or get upset. We would appreciate the moment
I
of learning.
apologize completely if I butchered any of the words today. There's a lot of words that I do not know if I
You know, I wouldn't have known. You were so confident when you were reading that whole German phrase.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. He sounds like he read up on it.
My German is not. I've never studied German. By the way, if you look up the Grossman, the Grossman, Tallman, and like if you Google it, just the name, the Wikipedia article of a man comes up whose last name was Grossman. Now, not a nice person at all. He was a child molester kind of thing, but like he kidnapped children kind of thing, kind of like.
Which is kind of, it could have extended from that.
Yeah, but that was more recent. Like it was like now like more like World War II kind of era, kind of thing. I think World War I era kind of thing. So it's like this is story from way back then, and now they have this guy more recent.
Which is funny because the Pied Piper story has origins of it happening during wartime, where essentially, so in that little series I was watching, they were talking about how the Pied Piper was essentially like recruiting children to fight in the war. That's why they were
Against the French?
Huh?
Against the French?
No,
Oh, no.
in Germany.
No.
When there was and this is more I don't want to say medieval, but it wasn't modernish times. I mean, I consider, even though world wars happened, what?
1940s?
When did World War One? Was in
1920s?
32s, right?
No.
20s?
Yeah, 1920s.
I think it was like 18, 19,
Yeah,
17?
1918s. Like right before 1920s.
Right, in the 19 teens.
Yeah, 19 teens. I think. We're not historians. I just go
Can you
all our disclaimers today.
We're touching base, just making sure we're proving the point that we're not those things.
But yeah.
But like older, it was more like regional.
Yeah.
Interwars. So
Civil War.
But so there's this theory for this one historian, at least, where it's like the Pied Piper was probably more of like a recruiter, but the parents were trying to ease their grief, like saying that their children were whisked away by this pipe playing person when really it was like the signs of, hey, the recruiter's here and we're taking your children because they're more fit to fight than
other ones. One last thing before we call this adventure quits. I do like the
I'm
whole.
not done. I have more notes.
You have more notes. Oh, just kidding. No,
but go ahead.
I like the idea that they use this tall man as a way to kill and don't go into the forest alone.
How about just don't go out of your bed at night?
Or also, don't be a bad kid because he takes you away. He's a boogeyman.
Yeah, but so does Krampus.
Yes, I did. He's a boogeyman.
Germany has a lot of those be a good kid, or there's a whole line of people waiting with your number.
I know, right? It's like, okay, who's next? Who's not busy today? Kind of thing. But like, like we talked about in the Kalapalooka episode, how they use this kind of stories to protect people, protect children.
Wandering into the woods in the middle of the night.
I mean, I would.
But it's probably cold and.
Hey, I heard there's werewolves out there. I'm gonna go find me one.
Oh my god.
There's fairies.
How you made it to this age, I just don't know.
By surviving, by being top of the food chain. Hey, there's fairies out there.
All right, so when you talked about these enchanted stones.
Yes.
In the story, with the German hikers, I immediately thought of the shrine. Do you remember the shrine? Mm-hmm. Which is also kind of messed up. That one still haunts me. I still think about it.
Speaking of haunting.
Not everyone's is impressed by it, but I really thought it was an intriguing concept.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of the Quiet Man.
The Quiet Man?
No, which is the one with... Is the shrine the one with the wind up the mountains? And then the guy was like... It came...
You're talking about the Empty Man.
Empty Man, that's what I'm thinking about.
That we watched recently?
Yes.
No, the shrine is older. We watched it around the same time we watched Pontypool. It was on Netflix. It's not anymore.
Oh, okay. It was in English though. It was the subtitle.
No, the main characters were speaking English, but they went somewhere to this village because she was looking for someone.
Yeah.
Right. And they come across this bizarre stone, and then it's like craziness, and takes a twist you were not expecting.
For sure.
Yeah.
No. Talking about
and I was like, oh my god, is this gonna take that turn? Because I'm about to freak out.
How like stories stick with you and stuff. I don't know what it is about me, but when I get really excited or really into something, it for lack of better words, it comes to life in my world. Okay. So
it's called manifesting.
There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Manifest. I manifested things. For example, when we were binge watching Supernatural, I will constantly dream of being in Supernatural. I'll be with the Winchester kids, and then we going hunting demons, getting spooky stuff, drinking beers, having a good time, traveling the States. I don't know what it was about this, because it hasn't happened a lot in other episodes, kind of thing. But for some reason, this episode, I kept seeing a slender, tall man in my dreams. There was no interaction. But when you're in a dream, you can see kind of behind you, you can see
I'm not happy right now. I just want you to know that
you can see around yourself, kind of thing. You have this omnipotent view of your dream. I will see in different spots. That the week after it was gone. In that situation, but
I'm not happy right now.
I'm manifesting things.
I'm about to go find the sage.
Our ghosts give me a nice touch there now.
Oh well, especially with where we're going tomorrow. I'm like, ugh. Not where we're going, but what we're doing.
So I said, I hope something happens.
I do, but I don't.
You're gonna jump.
We'll see.
Any more to hear?
Huh?
Any more?
Yes.
Yes.
The Dance of the Dead.
Dance of the Dead.
You mentioned that.
I did. From Austrian country.
Which I think is interesting, considering we were talking about Macchu Pisco 2 episodes ago, and they have a Dance of the Dead spirit. The Los Diablos.
Oh, yes.
Which is...
La Diablada.
Yeah, the Dance of the I don't remember if it was the dead or the demons, but yeah, it's like dead dance. And again, that connectivity there. So
where like is there like a underground tunnel with all these like things I guess pop different countries kind of thing?
It's like the land of luck, right? Like it's the land of cryptids.
Yes, land of
That'd actually be a great like movie concept.
Right. Kind of, you know. Well, that's what Monsters Inc. is.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But they all look like, you know, just atypical monsters.
Yeah.
I feel like the only one where it's like defined as like, this is what you know what this monster is Abominable.
Yeah.
Right?
It was just like a
But they just like, yeah, look like your cartoony monsters.
Yes. Kind of thing. But yeah, no. I'm very interested in Black Forest now. I definitely want to go. The cool clock that I mentioned earlier, I saw a picture of it. Like, oh, that's pretty. Like there's like towns like closer to this Black Forest.
I mean, I would love to visit Germany.
Me too.
It's on my
I would love
list.
to visit Germany.
I'd love to visit Germany. I'd love to visit Norway. Like these are the places I'd really love to go. Scotland and Ireland, of course.
But yeah, no, like after like Lear Moore, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go like access the Black Forest kind of thing, you know. Like we heard stories of like, you know, haunted forest or creepy forest where like they have like an open circle with like no trees, and you enter that area, it's like you lose time kind of thing. And I was like, I want to go there kind of thing and whatnot. But like the Black Forest of like reading more, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, sounds
Exciting.
Interesting.
Germany, I want to go there. I always wanted. Ever since I
wish I knew cheers in German.
It's gonna sound really dumb. Ever since I discovered Germany in middle school, because I know it's a country till middle school, I've always been curious to be like, oh, I'm gonna go check it out, kind of thing.
I have heritage, so.
Well, you know what? My heritage is all in Mexico.
Mine's rather.
Actually, I don't know.
Mine's all Europe.
I don't know. My dad once told me that my name comes from Russia. And I was like, I don't know about that.
We need some Russian stories.
Well, we need a question encrypted later.
Oh, yeah.
And I have.
Wait, we do?
Yes. Think about it. Think about it.
No, I can't.
It's one of the last ones.
One of the last. I can't think of it.
Really?
I'll look it up later. We'll double check later.
Okay.
No, I can't think of. Oh, wait.
Yes.
No.
She is.
No, that's German.
No.
Are you sure?
Think of the Scooby-Doo episode. What did they have?
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You guys are going to be so confused.
They're like, what's going on?
What the heck are they talking about? All right.
If you know Russian cryptids, you're going to be like, okay, I know what you're talking about. Kind of thing. Very simple. Kind of thing.
Oh, I don't think so. But
I don't know. Like when you think of cryptids, when you think of one of Russia, that's the one I think about all the time.
Really? Okay. That I'll tell you later because I don't want to give it away. All right. So.
Anything else you want to?
No, that was all my notes.
That's all you know. It's groovy.
And I did think it was really weird and creepy where I'm like, this sounds like the Slender Man. Make that note. Sounds like the Tall Man, which is ironically what they call it in Gravity Falls. Make that note, and then they make those notes.
The silence of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing. Our next cryptid.
Yeah, that one doesn't have extra limbs, though.
Well, neither does.
Oh, anyways. We could keep this going forever, and you guys are just going to be like, you are talking in hints and not being coherent at all.
Nope.
So,
this beer's delicious, guys.
Yeah, I think it's time for our last call.
We're chug.
Wrap things up. We still have a little bit of stuff to touch on.
And then we chug.
And then you can chug it. Yeah,
then
sure.
We can chug it. So, thanks for stepping along with us. We want to keep the spirits flowing, so please follow us. What?
Can you read?
Sorry. We want to keep the spirits flowing, so please be sure to show your support by reviewing and subscribing to our podcast. Comment. Tell us things. Tell us how much we rambled this episode.
I swear the first time you said we want to keep those spirits flowing, I thought you said we want to keep those cryptids flowing.
I'm going to keep everybody flowing around. I think, comment us, talk to us. We'll talk back, If you want to be more, I guess, private, you can message us.
Direct, yeah. Directly? You can send us DM or you can send us an email.
Yeah, we can send us an email.
At contact@sipsandspirits.com. So,
spirits. Yeah, I think if you enjoy the show, be sure to share it with others. Talk to us about it. We would love, we would love to hear stories of you guys. Not to, you guys don't have to listen together, but you guys listen to the episodes together and be like, oh, what do you guys think of this? What do you think of that? What
are your discussions?
What are your discussions after listening to us, kind of thing? What was your would you rather that your friends talked about, kind of thing, and whatnot? Have you tried the cocktails? Have you? That's conversation. Tell us what's going on.
What's your Sips and Spirits hot takes?
Yes, hot takes. Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Penny hot takes.
Hot takes with Penny.
That's not our podcast, guys. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, Goals Night In.
Goals Night In.
We're shouting out everybody tonight.
Very fun podcast.
Oh, right. So, that's it for you, right?
That's it for me.
All right. We do have an email newsletter that you can, if you're missing us on the in-between weeks, because we come out with an episode every other week, you can join us via sipsandspirits.com/happy hour. All one word, or join on our link tree for any of our social media platforms. So
I have the link tree on my Instagram.
Yeah. Our little window pops up when you go to our website, sipsandspirits.com, or like I said, you just add /happy hour and it takes you right to the subscription page.
There we go.
Or if you're following us along, excuse me, beer makes me so burpy.
It makes everybody burpy. I've been burping lots.
If you're following us on any social media platform, we have a link there that takes you directly to the email sign up. We have fun things that we share in there, give a little sneak peek of what to expect in the next few episodes, as well as anything else like Instagram Live events we might be attending that you could catch us at.
We shout out cool people to follow.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, we're trying to build the community a little more, get a little bit more response from you guys.
Halloween's right around the corner.
Having fun.
Right now. And there is so many creators out there, so many amazing creators out there that we have discovered, not just from our own searches, but because other people have shared them, kind of thing, And, we've gone to events and whatnot and stuff. So it's we want to give out, we want to do the same.
We're trying to pay it forward.
Kind of thing. So they were discovered to us from other people, so we want to make other people discover them, kind of thing,
Yeah.
And we have some friends and family who are maybe not as much as Halloween with us, but they looking for something different, and maybe that helps them out.
Yeah. So if you want to let people know where to find us, we are on all podcast hosts.
All of them.
As well as YouTube, so you can watch this episode if you prefer, or you can listen to it. Yeah, you just look us up, Sips and Spirits. We're the first thing that pops up.
You can see me try really hard to touch my beard today. I love my beard. It's like touching it. But
or we put all our show notes together a little bit more descriptively.
Descriptively?
There was another word I was going to use, but then that's what came out. We have our show notes on our website, as well as all the cocktails we create, sipsandspirits.com. As well as being on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, same as our website, just without the .com, same handle.
Yes, look it up there.
Sips and Spirits. So come find us.
And maybe soon OnlyFans. Just
That's
kidding.
so totally random. We haven't even joked about that.
Completely random on topic on that is OnlyFans the same as search engine? You can't search. You have to know the handle's name to find them on OnlyFans. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Okay. So yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, you just scared everybody off with the OnlyFans.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Maybe not.
I know. I was gonna say we could chug this, but I don't want to because I'm gonna have some of the chips we had earlier with this and see how it tastes. So I'm just gonna take them just a cheers.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Closing the tab.
That's it.
Thanks for sipping along with us.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.